people can catch up just in case. So we have, sorry. Okay. Oh, we have people from Uganda. We have Lagos. Yeah, hey Hyatt, it's good to see you. Hyatt and I met in Algeria in December, so it's good to see that you're here. And is Kobe on the call? Kobe,
yes, yeah, sorry about that. I'm here.
That's okay. Hey Kobe, is Tandeka on the call? Tandeka is Kobe, myself, Tandeka, and Dani.
I'm here.
Hey Tandeka, we are the organizers of Diaspora House, and what I'm gonna run you through today is a brief introduction about the community. We're now using collective and community, and please, this is designed to be an information session. So please, if you have any questions, you can just post them in the chat, or you can raise your hands and ask them. We want to share progress, the thinking behind building a real estate community. And yeah, well, thank you all. I will start with sharing at screen to run all you through the slides that I have here, and then we can get it started. Before then, okay, no questions. We actually have 22 people, so it's a decent number. I see a lot of old faces. I see a lot of new faces, which is great. And yeah, the Diaspora House is in the house. Do you see what I did there? Am I the only one having a good time on this thing, or is people laughing but you just have the mic off? Or am I not funny? Okay, cool. I am. Hey Nancy, welcome to Diaspora House. Welcome to the house.
Hi Joe, I was going off camera and you called me.
I mean, I just saw you dial in, so I thought,
Yeah. No, thank you.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Welcome.
Thank you. I've missed a lot of this session. So today I was like, I have to be here. Okay. I came from my work and immediately like, cool, let me join before you guys start. So awesome. Kind of excited.
Right on time. I'm going to share my screen and we take it from there. Awesome. Oh, wow. We have somebody, Akin is from Ethiopia. Crazy. Welcome to Diaspora House. Anybody doing a count of the countries that we have on the call so far? I guess not. All right. This is a Diaspora House session. It's virtual. We haven't done a Diaspora House session actually we did one in Nairobi, but we're hoping to do a mix of virtual and in person throughout the year. The picture that you see here is our most recent purchase, which is still in progress, and we'll share some update on this shortly. Yeah, everything that comes with it. So Diaspora House is a real estate investment collective. We invest in real estate assets across Africa and 8 diaspora's prime cities. What that actually means is we will not just buy real estate in Africa, but again, where the diaspora spends time outside of Africa, which is your London, your Paris, or New York, your Dubai. And what we do is we just we own the properties, but also we manage them. The goal is very simple. Can we leverage real estate to provide returns for the diaspora? Myself, I've been in the collective space for a while. There's some people here. I started alongside a guy called UBK, a startup collective 5 years ago, where we invest in startups across Africa and the diaspora. And traveling Africa as an African has been so fascinating to me. And somehow, or sometimes, it feels like there is a secret out there about real estate that nobody just tells you. And we've seen a lot of people, especially in Africa, build wealth across real estate. And what we really want to do is we want to be able to democratize this wealth building to everyone who is on the continent, but also outside of the continent. I think we skipped a slide there. The community is managed by 4 people. Myself, Kobe, who's on the call. Kobe is based in Dublin, of Nigerian origin who lived in the US and is married to a Kenyan. Tandeka is of South African who is currently in Durban. And we have Dami, who is also of Nigerian origin, based in Dubai, lived in Paris and London. So, and myself, I'm of Togolese origin, grew up in Ireland, and now lives in London. The four of us coming together is not intentional. We understand what it is to be diaspora. We understand what it is to travel the continent. We know what's happening. We all have, some what you call asset expertise or community expertise. For example, Tandeka manages a travel group, and I think last time I saw they were in Namibia, and our combined expertise have made us the perfect partner to start this collective. How it actually works, and I think a lot of people are here for that. How the collective works is we find a property, the organizers, alongside the community members, we have, so each city in the WhatsApp group, we find properties that we post them there. People say yay, people say nay. And when we find something that the collective likes, we send somebody over, we do the DD, and everything checking in, all is good. We make an offer. And once we make an offer, we will move on to the next stage, which is pull in the capital. The beauty about diaspora houses, while buying property can be an expensive endeavor, also sometimes risky, what we're doing is we are essentially fractionalize these properties so that people can invest alongside each other. And what that means is, first, you have access, and the second one is the risk is reduced. Not many of us can spend $100,000 on a property, $200,000-$300,000. Not many of us can have access to mortgages, especially when we don't live in our home country. And Diaspora House is essentially aiming to be the very good middle ground for people who want to essentially dip their toe in African or diaspora real estate without having to put up a lot of capital, without having to go take out a mortgage, without having to go to do the management in DC. So find a property, we pull the capital. The minimum for Diaspora House is $5,000, and the reason why it's $5,000 is it's not too low, so that it's crowdfunding, and it's not too high, which is prohibitive. And ideally, the perfect Diaspora House member is that's a working professional who lives either on the continent or outside of the continent, has some disposable income, and wants to own a piece of the continent. I think that's really, really important. Many of us either are from there, moved to another country, and sometimes we tend to forget that Africa is a continent out there, and we think it's really, really important for either Africans or people who care about Africa to own a piece of it. The third step, once we purchase the property, so what we purchase cash, we pull all the money together, we run projections, and then we make sure that all the costs are covered. So you go from stamp duty, you go from stamp duty to furnishing, to legal, to accounting. And these projections are also typically shown as we're putting together a memo. We pull all the money together, we pay for the costs, we do legal, we do the paperwork, and then the next stage is we want to make money. What we've done for the first property is it's fully furnished. As we're speaking, at the time of this recording, which is the 2nd of April, 2025, this property is occupied by somebody in Nairobi up until the 14th of April, which is great. What that means is the property is, rented, it's making money. And what we do is we pull all the money together, we pay all the costs. I think today I just got an invoice for the management, which we need to pay. We pay all the costs, and at the end of the year, once we've covered all the costs, we pay for the accounting, we file all the necessary paperwork locally in Kenya, where we are right now. We will distribute the returns to everybody who put money in that property. And this will be the same model across multiple properties. And in terms of returns, so far in Kenya, our calculations are showing 10%. And based on the occupancy of the property to date, it's looking like we're on track. I would like to caveat that we've only been doing, this property went live in February. So yes, it's early in the day. We're just in April, and we all know that, from November to Jan, Feb, it's super busy across the continent, meaning that we can get full occupancy there. In times like, especially in Nairobi, June to August is not very busy. It's a bit cold, so you'll see occupancy go down. But again, we want to be able to do two things. We want to leverage the community and also leverage Airbnb and all the booking sites out there to essentially increase our occupancy and make more money. One thing I wanted to talk about, I don't know if I've got it covered here. I want to talk about the legal or how the paperwork works. The way let me see, I think I had it somewhere here. Yeah, so in terms of capital pooling, in each country, I know, and I'm saying this because I know a lot of people had questions on how the paperwork works. In each country, we set up one company, and that company essentially purchase all the properties, and then each investor, through what you call a nominee structure, is a shareholder of each property. So we really care about two things. The first one is beneficial ownership, meaning that if you put money in a property, you own that property, and we've put together the right documentation to make sure that if you put 5,000 in property number one, you own a piece of that, and we've done that through beneficial nominee structure. And also costs. We discussed having to set up a company for each property, except it just didn't make sense from a cost perspective. And you're duplicating costs for each property, which doesn't make sense. So we went for the holding company structure, and then the holdco has signs all the papers. But if you put money in a property, you're a beneficial owner of that property. I would be more than open to take feedback. And if anybody knows of a better structure which ensures beneficial ownership and costs, and also the third one is like protection. So if something goes wrong with property 2 and you're an investor in property 1, that shouldn't be your problem. So the nominee structure allows that protection. So if people have better suggestions, we'll take it. This is quite standard, but again, we're super early in the journey, and if anybody has a recommendation, please feel free to share it. I'm going to pause here for any questions. If you have a question, please. I can't see the comments because I'm sharing my screen. Please post it in there, or just raise your hand, and then I know that you want to ask a question. No questions. Fantastic. So Diaspora has benefits. In addition to be part of a great community of people who are investors and care about real estate across Africa and Diaspora, if you put money in any of our assets, we will pay returns annually in USD. That's the plan. One thing that we really wanted to make sure of is, we want to make sure that people get paid in hard currency. How we're doing that is whenever we get a booking, that booking is, we're using Airbnb, or if we're doing direct booking, we're billing the guests in foreign currency, not in local currency, so that we have to find a way to get the money back. We're doing all the billing here. So if you invest in dollar, we will pay you back in dollar. It's actually very simple. If you're an investor in any of the properties, whenever you decide to rent, you will get what we call an investor rate. Investor rates are much lower than all the rates that we have, which is great. So invest once, benefits for the rest of your life in Diaspora House, which is amazing. We want to do annual liquidity window. What this means is once a year, you'll have the option to sell your stake as long as there's a willing buyer. What that allows anybody is, you're not tied into this property for the next 10 years. So let's say you've invested 5,000 in a property, and year 2, you're like, maybe I want to check out. Once a year, we'll open a liquidity window. Once everything is filed and all the fees are paid, then you'll be able to sell your stake, which is, I think, it's amazing. Referral fees, when you are a Diaspora House member and you refer somebody, we will pay you a commission for that referral. We got a referral recently. We haven't paid that person yet. So, but yeah, we will pay you a referral fees. A lot of the processes are manual, and I'll touch on how we're going to change that as part of this discussion. Last but not least, again, as an investor, with all the tools in place, we will allow you to list your own property. Again, we will prioritize the Diaspora House properties above yours, but if those properties are booked, like the property that's booked right now, we received a request for a booking, and we couldn't fulfill it. And I actually asked the person to post it in the Diaspora House. I didn't see them post it, but if the Diaspora House properties are not booked, we will make sure that if you have a property that's available, we can make it available to other guests. As just a member, say you're not ready to invest yet, maybe you don't have the capital, you can still refer guests to us, and we'll pay you the same referral fee that we'll pay an investor. We will prioritize you as a collective member when you're making a booking. You'll connect with others when you're traveling our beautiful continent. And yeah, so there are benefits for investors and members. One thing we want to do, hopefully soon, is maybe like spin up a different WhatsApp group for people who are moving around. And if you are comfortable with like, hey, guys, who's in Nairobi, who wants to hang out, we want to be able to enable that through the collective. So if you're not part of the WhatsApp, please join it. It's not very noisy, which is very nice, and it's very specific. So yeah, I encourage you to join it. Progress so far. The first property in Nairobi, it's a place called Winchester. We spent $110,000 on that. We've made $2,000 in revenue so far. And I was saying in the group that this will actually cover the cost for the property. So like management and all these fees for the rest of the year, which is great, meaning that anything else that this property makes for the rest of the year is pure returns that will be distributed to the collective members. Disclaimer, I am an investor in the first property, so I'm super excited to December, January to come so that we can reap our rewards. Wait, we got a 5-star rating. Woo! All right, fine. Yeah, 5-star rating, and yeah, good feedback from like this was a booking directly on Airbnb, and they gave us a private note, which is, hey, the location facilities are both perfect. I recommend it if you are looking for accommodation in Nairobi. And then private note, great hospitality. I think that's a testament of the property itself, but also the management that we have. You can check it out. There's a link here, Airbnb Diaspora House. If you actually type Diaspora House, put in Diaspora House Airbnb on in Google, we come up, which is kind of cool. Check it out. So that's the first property done. The second property, it's fully committed, except we haven't collected all the money. So the way it works is we take all the commitments and then we collect the capital. Unless we take your money, you send your money, your commitment doesn't really mean much. But this gives us like an idea of like whether there is enough interest for the property. We have closed all the paperwork, all signed. So if you made a commitment for Diaspora House Marina Bay, please, I'm begging you, send your money so that we can close it. But for people who are interested in this property, this is your opportunity. The way it works is it's first come, first served. So if you like, I think I want to, the sooner you send your money, we will like prioritize you over people who haven't sent money. It's actually that simple. The reason why we actually started looking at this property was because the first one, we got so many overcommitments that we actually went out to look for a second property because there was so much interest. So just in case you missed out, please, the commitment form is available, which I'll share again. And yeah, proceed to do the needful. We're hoping to have this closed this month. And like April is usually busy. There's a lot of conferences that happen in Nairobi. We've had to turn down bookings because we didn't have a place. So we want to start monetizing this as quickly as possible. So just in case you made a commitment, please wire your funds. If you're interested to make a commitment, the door is still open. So So that's the second property that's ongoing. We were looking at a third property in South Africa, made an offer, did a capital call, only for that offer to be declined. Sucked, but that's the reality. We had some learnings as part of this, which is we want to make sure that it's super firm, offer is accepted, and then we can proceed to, again, do a capital call. The other thing that we discussed internally is we want to make sure that there's only one property open at a time. We don't have multiple properties open. And what that usually means, people are often undecided and you never really close a property. So what we will do is before we bring another property to Diaspora House, we will make sure that Marina Bay is closed and then we'll move on. We think that's the best way to do it. We'll take feedback, we'll take recommendations in terms of how to, again, improve the collective. It's very new. We are learning, so we'll take any feedback. Trials, what has worked? Yeah, promoting multiple properties. I just touched on that. I think we fairly understand the asset class. It's becoming easier to find assets. Tandeka is actively helping with the Cape Town one, but as we said, we want to make it easier for ourselves, which is we will not promote multiple properties at the time. It's been easy to, again, negotiate for the asset, building the collective. So all of you who are part of here, you've made our lives much, much easier. Yeah, the time to close is still dragging on a little bit more. It's looking like we're spending on average 3 months to close a property. We think we can improve that. Collecting funds, I think for the first property, it was a bit harder, but this one, because we know exactly what we're doing now, it's easier. The KYC process, I'll touch on that because we are moving to, we're going to start using technology, so KYC will be covered as part of that. And local setup, we've spent quite a lot of time talking to local lawyers. Thank you, Tandeka, for all the work you're doing in South Africa. But yes, we're learning. The good thing is once we figure out one country, we can use that system as many times as possible. And one thing I want to say for people who are part of the community is more than happy to help you share our learnings with you, just in case, one, you want to set up your own collective. Second, you want to buy the property by yourself because, that's what works best for you. So please feel free to reach out. That's that. What's next? So talking about technology, for those who may know, I'm the founder of a platform called Borderless, and Borderless is the infra for global diaspora collectives. So what's going to happen is we're hoping that this month, anybody who was invested in Diaspora House will finally have a dashboard to see how much they've invested. They will see what their return is. They'll be able to see everything that has to do with the investment in Diaspora House. Again, calling anybody who also has a collective, interested in setting up a collective, whether it's a venture or real estate, please reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you with technology. And we'll onboard membership management. Diaspora House is it's a free community, so it's zero. We do returns distribution. We'll leverage Borderless for that. We use leverage Borderless for funds, collection, disbursement, etc., reporting, emails, all that. So that's coming up hopefully this month, all going well. Upcoming cities. Yes, as soon as we close Marina Bay, we have great cities in the pipeline, like Cape Town, one of my favorite cities in Africa, like Lagos. I don't want to talk too much about Lagos, but we saw this beautiful, beautiful property. Again, learnings, we don't want to promote multiple properties at once, but I know if you're of Nigerian origin, just give me thumbs up. I know there's a lot of people of Nigerian origin here, whether you're in Nigeria or outside, please give me thumbs up. And of course, Accra, Accra is such a great city. So these are the 3 cities that we're targeting. But again, we need to close Marina Bay first, and we will go on. So for folks in London, there is a Tanzania property event that's happening on the 3rd of May. I plan to go. I registered. If you're interested, let me know. I will share the I'll share the document with you. We want to also do a Diaspora House session live in London. If you're interested, can you please give me hands up? I'd love to know, like, people who are based in London. I'd love to do a session so that we can all like meet in person. I've met some people in the community, but just get to know the others. I'd love to do something. We will be at Viva Tech in Paris. That's in June. So yes, like I will be. I don't think one day will make it, but Diaspora House will be represented at Viva Tech in Paris. So that's for all my people, my French people who will be in Paris, and then we'll be at London Tech Week. London Tech Week. It's happening like around Viva Tech as well. For the first collective that I run, Hoke, we do an annual party, and it's great that Diaspora House will be joining the session. So yeah, we will share more about these events or these upcoming events as time gets closer, so you can register, come and hang out with the community, meet people who are part of it, meet people who are interested in it. If you've invested before and you like the process, please give feedback, because the word of mouth really helps with what we do. We have a Diaspora House memo, so if you haven't read it, I really recommend reading it. That memo needs update because it was put together, I think, back in August, and we need to make changes because a lot has changed since we started. And yeah, guys, thank you for listening to my talk. Thank you for joining the session. I am going to stop sharing and open the floor for questions. I will start with the first question, which is, what are the current occupancy rates you're seeing? I think we'll have to calculate it, but I think the property has been occupied longer than it has been on the market. I think, Kobe, correct me if we can pull that number, it's looking like 60-70% so far.
Sorry, could you repeat your question?
What is the current occupancy rate we're seeing?
Oh, I haven't calculated it, but I would say we've been occupied since GHO getting there, I think March 12th, and we're occupied till April 19th or something, so yeah. We're still occupied. We just need to try to stay ahead of the curve, but so far we're doing good on occupancy.
Thank you. Yeah, something that we can do. And then we have Tunji has a question, which is, what are the current geographies where you have properties, and are there any future markets that you're looking at? Yeah, I touched on that. So we're currently just in Nairobi, but we're looking at Cape Town, Lagos, and Accra. We've discussed London, but for folks who know, London prices are not for the faint-hearted. It's something that we will make sure of. And then what's the connection between Diaspora House and Hoke? They're not directly related. I am the common denominator. I've started both, and yeah, I'm also the builder of the technology that will power them. One thing I'm very passionate about is collectives. I think collectives will help us move faster. So I've essentially dedicated a lot of my time and hopefully the next 10 years to build technology for collectives and help them spin up. Now, the next question is there an admin email to send queries about membership of Hoke and Diaspora House? Yes. And Ayla, you can reach out to me. I think I should have your number. I don't know. Who do you read me either?
You should do.
I should have your number. Yeah, I'll reach out. I'll send it to you. But for other people, it's here, Hoke.co for Hoke, and Diaspora House is Diaspora House co@gmail.com. Yeah. Let me see if there are. Oh, here we go. How many? Sorry, Anas, can you answer your question? I just don't get it. Okay, oh, here we go. How many people do you have working full-time? Nobody's working full-time on Diaspora House, at least not yet. It's not at the stage where we can sustain it. And then how soon are you likely to do Lagos? I think it depends on how quickly Marina Bay moves. We're 70% there. We've actually haven't shared this with anybody, actually, not even Kobe or Tandeka, but we saw a property. But again, the focus is let's close Marina Bay first, and then we can decide on how quickly we can do it. Ideally, it takes about three months to close a property from like bringing it to the community, doing the calls, etc. Lagos is a much harder one, but hey, if there's a demand, I'm sure we can figure it out. And oh wow, there's so many questions. Do investors benefit from any capital appreciation in a property as well as a proportion of rental income? Yes. And that's why we really, really care about the beneficial ownership. So like everybody's a beneficial owner on the property. So when the value appreciates, everybody benefits from it. Again, value appreciation is subject to like, property valuation, whatever the case is. But again, all beneficial ownership enables capital appreciation. We're not pushing that for Nairobi because like the rental income are high enough, but the short answer is yes. And then Tosin, how does the liquidity window work? I want to sell my stake. Do I have to find a buyer or will there be a marketplace enabling the sales? The idea is to have a marketplace that enables the sale. That's the short one. So anybody can list their property, and as long as there's a willing buyer, they can sell. And the goal is to enable borderless to broker that transaction. What about French-speaking countries or Egypt? Egypt, we haven't spent a lot of time looking at it, but if you're plugged in, I think everybody knows how hot the Egyptian property market is. So yeah, Egypt, personally, I haven't been, but I've spoken to people who've been, and there's a lot of companies that are doing great things there. If you were to go to Egypt, we'll partner with a company that's already on the ground. But in terms of Francophone, French-speaking countries like Senegal, I'm speaking to a lady tomorrow who has moved to Senegal and has been helping people acquire property there. So that call is happening tomorrow. Again, because we're so early, we are making sure that the foundation is very solid before we can start doing more. And foundation means like having, something that makes process easy, all the paperwork in place. We figured out how to pay fees. We figured out how to get returns to people. So yeah, we're working on all that. Okay, let me see. Oh, yeah, there have been some issues with property purchases, property rights, loss of property due to government appropriating land and properties post-acquisition. How do you manage that risk and give investors confidence? For that, it's insurance. We want to make sure these properties are insured. So that's a no-brainer. The case with Lagos, so I was in Lagos I think I always tell the story. I was in Lagos in May, June last year when we were tinkering around Diaspora House. And after spending a couple of days in the city, talking to agents, talking to developers, we quickly realized that Lagos isn't the first place we should get started. But we have some experience now, and I think we're ready to revisit Lagos. But again, like with doing business anywhere, not just in Lagos, you have to double check everything. The reason why we started with Nairobi is Nairobi actually has really good like real estate laws, and they have a really good fiduciary system, and it makes it easier to go there. Same thing in South Africa. We want to go where the workload is easier. There's no point of trying to do something because we're from that country or we have some emotional attachment to it. At the end of the day, Diaspora House is ultimately about returns, and we will divert capital to where we can get the most bang for our buck. So yeah. How do you address the issue of long void periods? Sorry, what are long void periods? I don't know either. I'm sorry. Feel free to unmute it.
Hi, Joe. Yeah, so I'm referencing a situation in which you plan for people to occupy the property, whether that's on short-term or long-term, and it doesn't happen, or it doesn't happen how you foresee it. How do you hedge against that? That's my question.
Oh,
How do you try to make sure that the property is always occupied? Because occupation is what brings the rent.
Yeah. Well, two ways. Essentially, like we're doing what everybody else is doing, which is, promoting their properties on like Airbnb, on booking.com. For folks who don't know, we have social media pages where we're pushing this property at least once a week. But more importantly, we are making sure that the community knows that this property exists. So what we're saying to folks, again, that will be a weekly thing, which is when you're traveling to Africa, please check in with Diaspora House first before you go look on Airbnb, because at least you're going to a place that you probably have ownership in, or your friends do, and also we want to guarantee lower rates. So Isla, for context, 2 out of the 3 bookings that we have so far came from the collective, came from the community. So very few property owners have a community, and I think that's one of our superpowers. And we want to be able to leverage the community as much as possible. So again, reminder to everyone, please book Diaspora House. The other thing is, for folks like me who travel for work, and I know maybe another group of people who travel for work, it doesn't make sense for me to stay somewhere else when I go to Nairobi. And I go to Nairobi maybe 2-3 times a week, 2-3 times a year. I wish it's a week. I think Kobe is in Nairobi this month. And we already have a network of people who travel for work. So those are the people that we're pushing the properties to. We want to make sure that they know that this exists. And again, that's the other reason why we're building a global community. And I always like the exercise that I did at the start, which was where are people? So we have people from London, Paris, Canada, Nairobi. The thing is, a lot of these people are of our African origin. I know it's not everyone, but again, when you're on the move, we want to make sure that you book our property, in addition to having it on Booking, on Airbnb, etc. And then, is there any consideration for other property strategies now or in the future, e.g. flipping below market value properties? At least immediately no from Diaspora House, but we know this is a business that people do regularly. And again, not trying to plug myself, but if you want to build a collective so that you can buy and flip, you should check out Borderless. Happy to have a chat with you. But it's not something that we plan to do immediately. Again, somebody asked earlier, we don't have a full-time person here. We all do it on a part-time basis because we all have, different jobs and we have things to do. But again, when Diaspora House gets to the stage where it's revenue generating and we can hire somebody full-time who would, again, be in charge of that. That's not the immediate plan. Osama, if you want to set up your own collective to do, flipping and fixing, feel free to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to see how I can help you with technology. This has been a really good Q&A, a lot of very important questions. Any other questions, any comments, any thoughts? Fantastic. Well, thank you all. If you, the memo, it was already shared in the comments. Please check it out. If you're not on the WhatsApp group, Zainab, can you please help me share the WhatsApp link if you have it? Because I don't have WhatsApp on my laptop, so I can't actually share it. Or maybe, Osama, please go ahead.
Hey there, Joe. I'm sorry. Plugging the feed. If you can just look at the last the question, it was about how you're sourcing the properties in the first instance, in terms of what's the preference in terms of geographical location, whether these are kind of end user properties, apartments. If you can just give a brief outline as to how that process is being sought out.
Yeah, so immediately we focused on apartments because the developer has already taken care of all the land issues, so we don't want to go buy a house immediately because we know how land and all these issues come across Africa, across the continent. What we do is when we're actively looking in the city, all hands on deck, we plug into the network, we speak to people we know, we talk to agents, we talk to developers, and we just crowdsource. If you are in the WhatsApp and you check the Cape Town, when we're actively looking, there's a lot of property that came in there. So the community also helps with with the sourcing, which is really good. But once we find something that we like, then we move on to due diligence. Again, DD, like the first property, I think we sent 3 different people to go check it just to make sure. I think that was, again, we needed to do that check. The second one, myself, and I don't know if Natasha is in the group, but when I was in Nairobi, we went to see this place to make sure that, nobody's trying to sell us dreams. And the property that we made an offer for in Cape Town, that was declined. We also sent somebody who essentially went in there, talked to the agent, took videos, and then before we even thought about making an offer. So I don't know if I answered your question, but it's a sort of a group effort. But like folks like me, I'm plugged into various ecosystems where I get a lot of DMs about people want to sell something. It's just that I don't post all of them in the Diaspora house. And whenever I see something that makes sense, then I post it. And like Kobe is the same, Tendeka is the same. And there are other people who are not organizers of this group that also share things that they think would be useful for the community. So. All right. Thank you all. It's the sun is gone. Yeah. I'm glad it was useful. That's the WhatsApp group. Please join it. Please book Diaspora House because where else do you want to book? And if you have any questions and you're shy to ask the question in the group, please feel free to DM me. Thank you all. Enjoy your Wednesday, and I will see you all on the other side. And yes, one day these will be recorded. It's already been recorded. We'll share it with anybody who registered. I also posted in the WhatsApp group. So yeah. All right. Thank you all.